Today's class is all about flexibility and mobility, a very gentle class, lovely for a really hot day or a day when you're feeling a bit achy. You don't need any equipment, but if you find you need something under your head, then grab a small block or a rolled up towel. I want you to sit towards the front of your mat, feet hip width apart, so if you remember, feet together, toes out, heels out, watch the feet pointing forward. And we're going to roll down one vertebrae at a time onto the mat and then adjust ourselves so that our feet are comfortable. And I want you to concentrate on the position of your pelvis. So, bony protrusion on the top of the hips, just take your fingertips there and feel that they are in alignment. Just a little bit of wiggle side to side maybe. Your knees are going to move when you do that. And come back centre. And then you're going to take the small of the back down to the mat and release. Try and relax your buttocks. Make it about the back doing the movement. So pushing the back in, lifting up. Taking the heel of the hands onto those bony protrusions. And we're going to make a diamond shape on the pelvis. Thumbs are by the belly button. And as you tip up and down, you're going to feel the hands coming towards you and away. And I want you to just do that movement a few times. And feel a little bit more mobility coming into the lower back. And then we're going to come back to centre. Now centre, your hands should be level. So if you pick them up and have a look, if they're tilted towards you, you've got your back pushed too far into the ground. If they're tilted the opposite way, you're going to have a big arch under your back. If it's comfortable, I'd like you to put your hands under your lower back and just be really aware that there is a gap there. It's your neutral spine. You're going to engage the core, so pulling the belly button back in towards your stationary spine. So it's a little bit like doing up a slightly tight pair of jeans. It's pulling in from the side, and you're going to feel everything nice and taut. And keep your breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Very important to keep breathing throughout these exercises. Now taking the hands underneath. I'm going to ask you to start with a few simple leg slides. So just sliding that foot away along the mat and bringing it back. So we're just getting a little bit of mobility now through the hips, the knees. The heel stays on the ground as you slide or just skimming above. So it's not a leg lift. It really is a gentle exercise, a really gentle workout today. Next we're going to do a little stretch. So, next time you take a leg out, leave whichever leg it is out straight. Keep that neutral spine. And without moving the back or the pelvis, I want you to hug the knee in towards the chest, just as close as it will. It should be comfortable. And you're going to get a stretch through that open hip, but also through the buttock of the bent leg. If it's more comfortable to hold underneath, that's fine. Make sure it's comfortable. Just hold that stretch for a moment. Taking that leg back down. Let's switch, so bringing the legs back up so knees are both bent. Stretch the other leg away. Be aware of what's going on with your pelvis. You've got the neutral spine. Hug the knee into the chest. And make it comfortable. If it's uncomfortable in your hip, just adjust accordingly. And release. Taking that foot down, bringing the other leg back to join. Doesn't matter which leg you start with, we just want to make sure we work both sides. I'm going to hug this leg in. And then I'm going to take my hands underneath and hold the sides of my legs. So my fingers are on the back of my legs, the hamstring. My thigh is against my chest as best I can, or against my belly. And keeping that leg where it is, I'm going to flex and point the foot to start with. Try and keep this other leg as still as possible. Don't just let it drop out to the side. You still want that neutral spine, so a little bit of gap underneath still. Circle the ankle. So getting some better mobility in your ankles. If it feels good to spread the toes while you're doing it, then you can do that as well. Okay, from there, without lifting the thigh away, I want you to just push that heel up towards the ceiling and back down. Just getting a little bit of movement. You're going to start feeling that in the hamstring. So you don't want to be pulling on the back of the thigh here. We're not taking the knee, the thigh away from the body. This is just a movement from the knee. And now, try flexing that foot. You're going to feel the stretch in the calf, the back of the lower leg. And again, just be aware of what's going on with your other leg. Okay, from there, I'm now going to let that thigh come away from the body slightly. Relax the foot, and if you can, straighten the leg. But what I would rather is that you had a slightly bent leg, but the weight of the leg is over the body. Again, be really aware of that lower back. If you've got very, very tight hamstrings, you're going to find that leg drops away. Now again, I want you to support the leg, otherwise you're not going to get the hamstring stretch we're looking for. But watch that you're not pulling on the muscle that we're trying to stretch. So those that can be here, you might be able to hold up higher and pull in. You might find your legs a lot further in than mine. I'm taking a gentle stretch today. But you want to be feeling that. It's going to be across the back of the knee, down the back of the leg. Try again to still keep that neutral spine, but you are supporting the leg. Okay, give it a bit of a rest. You might want to point and flex the foot or pull the knee in and straighten up again. And again, if you do have a slightly bent knee, that's fine as long as you're feeling the stretch. But you need to be feeling that stretch in the back of the leg. All about the stretch here. Let's change sides. Taking that foot down, bringing the other knee into the chest. Hold it into the chest to start with, taking a hand underneath. Let's just work the ankle. So point and flex a few times and circle, changing directions when it feels good. Just getting some mobility in the ankle. And from there, we're going to start moving the knee, again warming up through the knee. Pushing that foot up towards the sky. It's only movement of the knee, not the hip, keeping that thigh against the body. Now from here, flex that foot as you stretch up. Feel that stretch in the back of the calf. Extending the stretch. Now taking that leg up to straight if you can, relaxing the foot and supporting the leg. Watch what's going on with your bent leg. It should be nice and upright, not dropped out to the side. Just relax into that stretch. And again, same as on the other side. If you find that you can't get that leg straight while it's over the body, bend the knee slightly and just straighten it until you feel the stretch in the back of the hamstring. And avoid pulling on the hamstring itself, on the muscle, that tight muscle in the back of the leg. Just supporting the leg, getting that stretch. Again, those of you that can might take the stretch a little higher, but keep the upper body relaxed. We don't want to tense up the upper body while we're relaxing the lower body. Lovely. Bring that foot back down. Bring the feet and knees together. I'm going to take my arms out to the side. This is really just to keep them out of the way. So it's not too much of a worry how you have the arms. If you'd rather take them up behind the head, you can. Feet together, and you're going to lift the outside foot off the floor as you drop the knees down to the side. Now you're keeping the shoulders on the floor. That's giving you a really nice rotation through the spine. Dropping the knees down to one side. Outside of the foot stays on the floor. Breathing in as you come back up. Breathing out as you go down. Lovely rotation through the lower back. And you can control this as to how far you go depending on how it feels for you. So if it's uncomfortable, make it smaller. If you find it really is too much, or you've got osteoporosis and you want to avoid quite so much rotation, you can keep both feet on the floor and you'll get a smaller stretch. So adapt according to how it feels for you and your own needs. Now this is quite an easy movement, so I want you to think about your breath here, breathing out. In through the nose. Breathing out as you go down the other side. Trying to really strengthen and lengthen your breath. coming back. Okay, from here, we're going to change that slightly. So it's a similar movement, but the legs are probably the width of your mat. Make it comfortable. And this time you're going to feel less of a rotation in the spine, but you're going to feel more of a stretch through the hips as you drop the knees down. So coming onto the sides of the feet as you go down to the side. Coming in as you come back to the centre. Breathing out as you go down to the side. In as you come back centre, keeping the shoulders on the mat. And really getting some mobility in that lower body. Coming back centre. Bringing the feet back to hip width apart. So you might want to bring them back together, check they're lined up. Toes out, heels out, watch your feet are pointing forward. Adjust your body so that you've got that neutral spine. Now, if you can comfortably, I'd like you to place your fingers under your lower back so you feel what's going on with your lower back as you do this. And take it down closer to the top of your buttocks so you can feel what's going on with your pelvis. And we're going to drop the heel, the knee even down to the side, and coming back up. And you're trying to keep the other leg as still as possible as you do this. So engage the core, pull the belly button back towards the spine. Keeping that spine in neutral. And if you find your legs really wobbling, if you push the heel of the stationary leg into the mat, it's going to help engage the core and keep that pelvic stability as you go. Now, what I'd like you to do now, keep hands on top of those bony protrusions on the top of your hips, and feel what's going on. So you might want to put your hands up, pointing up towards the sky, and you can actually look and see. If you start to drop, that hand's going to drop to the side. So you've really become aware of what's going on with the pelvis here, nice and controlled. And coming back up. Yeah, to the side. We do one more like this, even it up on both sides. We try and do the same number on both sides of the body. And I'm going to change this movement. So you might want to quickly sit up and watch what I'm doing before you join in. Up to you. I'm going to move my hands down back to here so it's comfortable, but I want to feel what's going on with the pelvis. You're going to drop the knee out to the side. I'm going to slide that foot directly away from me, feeling a lovely stretch on the inner thigh. Straighten the leg down on the next breath. Bring it back up. So breathing out as I take the leg out to the side, same as the last movement. My foot goes straight down. It's not out to the corner, it's straight down the mat. Next breath, I'm going to straighten and bring it back in. So join in when you're ready. Breathing it out. Breathing in. Breathing out, rotating the leg back. And in. And you're trying to keep the pelvis as still as possible while you're doing this. It is going to rotate, of course, but you're trying to make that as small a movement as possible, really controlling the core, asking your core muscles to stabilize your body. Last one. And release. Tugging the knees into the chest. Bring a little bit of a rock. Relaxing the body. Taking the feet back down to the ground.